I'll pretend in there. Welcome everybody. This is Crisis 169, aka Mark, coming to you live, Power Spectrum Internet. I'm here, you're there, you gotta do it now. Now today's video live stream is gonna be a follow-up, a part two, if will, to when did PC gaming become the norm in the last 5 years? Well, let's make it last 10 years. And should consoles still be cheap PCs? Or be called cheap PCs. You can't fit all of it on one thing. Now, guys, if you watch this video got over 1,500 views. My other channel, I had an older channel before this. It's still growing. It's like 16 subs. But one video I got was a Spectrum review that I did. Had over 9,400 views on that one video alone. Uh, that was going through a lot of issues in my life, a lot of time turmoil. Well, my channels were kind of coming and going. I kind of made them come and go and stuff. So I'm subscribed to my old channel, and I'm trying to get everybody off that too on this one. A few I had like 23, and a few of them have come over. The other few, I don't know. I don't know if passed away or they just stopped off YouTube, or maybe they're busy or whatever, or they just don't care. That's fine. I'll apply. Now, when did PC become the norm? I think PC became the norm after like I said in the video, upload video today. I was out doing some stuff. Um, that the video game crash kind of sent of '83 kind of sent us down the road to where PC gaming is at today, and that makes a lot of sense if you think about it. In the realm of possibilities, that PC gaming has always carried the mantle of gaming. Yes, we all know Mario saved console gaming from Atari and their bloatedness and the bloated consoles and their garbage. We all know that. A gaming historian, G4 icons on YouTube, watch that stuff. Great Gamecraft 83. Those two do it justice. I can sit here and ramble on blah 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 for 20 minutes to tell you about it. Or I can get into the meat and potatoes of the whole situation. The last 10 years, PC gaming has been coming probably longer than that. Probably right around the 360 PS3 era, people started seeing PC gaming as being the hot new thing. Graphics cards were getting better, and I'm gonna go here and look up PC gaming started to say 2005. I know console gaming was around, but 2006 um, GPUs. Till it comes up here. Well, 2026, 2006 GPUs. Uh, had the Radeon 1900X XTX, high end 88 GTX, 7000 series, NVIDIA 88, 8800, 7300 GeForce, and emerging tech SMU. I think it was, and then they got merged with AMD, SMU, SLI. Um, and it shows different graphics cards here on GameSpot, and there's different ones. There's different prices ones. So graphics cards back in the day were actually still more powerful than the 360 or PS3 would ever be, and that kind of shows they're going to now. What I call today's consoles cheap PCs. I'll call them more like hybrids. They're more like what the Steam machine should have been. The Steam machines of back when I saw them in GameStop, the Steam machine sold. You know, it's a digital thing being sold in GameStop that sold physical games. You see how that makes sense, right? It's stupid, right? But the Steam machine was a real thing. Valve Steam machine. A friend of mine bought. He had one bought by his wife, an i3. Yeah, it was all laughable now, but it was an i3. And it was a basic thing. It was actually more powerful than the 360. But now that thing is obsolete compared to the Xbox One X, the one I have behind me, the Xbox X series, the PS4, PS5. But that's kind of an enigma. The Steam machines coming out now are going to be probably a different type of beast. So I look at consoles being more hybrid. They're more hybrid systems. They're trying to be more what they are, but they're not trying to be anything other than gaming consoles. We all laugh at the Stadia and the Li-Fi, the Live Wire, that console that was handheld came out 7 years earlier, 9 years earlier. That online, that was a handheld thing to play games, uh, just like Stadia did, but it actually worked in most cases. Um, reason why Stadia failed because of simple cloud gaming is still not 100% into it, and a lot of people are not. Even even all the DLC and everybody downloading the games on them. But how do we get this far ahead? Where PC gaming now, the console gaming are almost similar in price. And before you start throwing crosses up and saying, no, I lost my PC Master Race card, and come firebomb my house, burn my house down for saying that. How dare I say for you PC says how dare Mark says that console and PC are the same? No, not the same, but they have the same architecture. They play games. Okay, if you break it down the gaming rig, it's just a gigantic or small factor console. Once again, don't firebomb my house. The point is, you do more. Yeah, I do my taxes on my gaming rig. Or I have a laptop do taxes on it too in the other room. I go back and forth. This year, I'm doing taxes on my laptop in my gaming room or my secondary room because I do it back and forth. Um, and I do taxes. And you can do taxes. You can run businesses on a PC. Can't do that on the console. But what makes the console, some people's eyes, a PC is where people are kind of getting it off. I think the console is kind of, like I said, what the Steam machine was trying to be. Take the PC part of gaming out and put it on a set top box and you play games. That's what I think PC gaming was going to. Back then, it wasn't. Back then, you popped in a graphics card, processor, some RAM, and off to the races with the motherboard. Even back in the Apple II, in my brother's era, way back when the dinosaurs rolled the earth, when it came to PC gaming, and it was a dinosaur era. And I played Police Quest and Space Quest. I played those games. It was very hard. You had to use button, you used your up and down arrows, kind of like that. But it was early games that didn't need a graphics card. It ran on the processor that was in the system itself. But now games having so much explosions and chaos and Battlefield 6 and Resident Evil Requiem and all other games, you cannot run those games on hardware that's almost 40 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old. But you can still run some games on on graphics cards that came out back in 2006 and 7 and 8. Granted, it'd be oh my god, when you do, but you can still play Grand Theft Auto 5 on hardware that came out back in 2006, 2005, 2000, whenever when Grand Theft Auto first launched, 5 launched, you could still play it on that hardware because it was designed for that hardware. So games that old work real well on new hardware because new hardware can run them. New hardware like I got this, and it cracks its knuckles, and I got this. You know, But also, it's also a true point too as well that the graphics cards of today are always going to be able to run games of yesteryear. See how see how time goes forward, not backwards. You cannot run. You cannot run Resident Evil Requiem on. Let's say here. See what's going to. I'm sorry, I need to go check again. 2006 GPUs on a 8800 GTX DX12 or NVIDIA 7950 GX2 or Radeon 1900 XTX. Even if you can find the driver somehow, and then in this dark side of the moon somewhere, you know, that game will not run on that ancient hardware. See how you can run old games on new. You can't run new games on old, and that's true. Console gaming has it where you can run old games on old hardware because it's designed for that. I'm not saying you cannot configure those graphics cards to run a game that's newer. They have proven you can run games on on 980s, 970s, old graphics cards you can find. They'll run, but the VRAM limitations will destroy it. If your VRAM limitation is no more than like 1 gigabyte, you're not even you can't even run Windows on 1 gigabyte. I don't think you can even start up the PC on 1 gigabyte on some of these games. They will just won't run. So people saying that you could run all games on all graphics cards, I've been hearing in my comment section, they're smoking something funky, or they have some way of doing it, or they're full of shit. And that's how it goes sometimes, folks. I can understand people saying, "Hey, that 6 Ti 16 gig I have can run Resident Evil Requiem at 1440p at 54 frames with path tracing on, or 54 frames and path tracing on, or I can run it at solid 60 with path tracing off, ray tracing on medium, or probably low or medium, and on high settings, and I can run it quite well. And I can run it quite well. And I can run it extremely well. Where you can't do that on other hardware. Where older hardware cannot run a game like that. That I don't care what anybody tells you. Old hardware doesn't run that way. And when did PC gaming become the norm? I think it became the norm when people realized that games stopped lying to them, the console manufacturers lying to them, the game builders were truly lying to them. Because I saw one time, okay, I was playing 360 back then. Yes, I was a poor person back then. I had 360 and PS3. I went to college, had all this stuff, and I bought a house after I got out of college. And it was rough. It had GameFly, and GameFly was the best thing I ever had for me. I had Call of Duty 4. I bought Halo. Because I had enough money to buy one game, and that was Halo. I had Call of Duty 4. I had Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, GameFly. $9.99 a month, one game. They had messaged me, "Hey, do you want to buy this game for $20? We'll just send you the package." Yeah, sure. I went to Walmart. The game was still being cost for $40. So I saved myself $20 on the game. Now the PS3 comes into play because I got that. When I got the extra money, I put it towards PS3, put it layaway, because layaway, Kmart, layaway, a lot of the other kind of stuff, paid off as you go. And when I bought at Walmart, I had layaways. I put a layaway at Walmart and paid it off. It took about almost a year, paid off. I finally got it. It was great. It was a fat one too, the big fat butt bubble one. the bubble butt one. It was like a 20 gigabyte one. It wasn't very big, but it was good for me. That's what I needed. Because I wanted both consoles, but I saved up for them. So when I got the house I'm living in right now, I was paying it off and had barely enough finances to get through each year. And my tax refund came in. I did not know how much you're going to have until my tax refund came in. And I always had to put on a portion for the car, a portion for the house. I always had to save up something for something else, right? So money was really tight. And GameFly was great. But when you're a console gamer and you're buying games at $50, oh my God, $50 back then was cheap. Yeah, it was. But at the time of the era was not cheap. $50 today, yesterday, it's like $70 today. Things cost money. And a lot of people like myself, I want to go PC gaming, but no, I didn't have anybody to build it for me, and I didn't know how to build PC gaming. Now, come 2020 come around, 2017 comes around, my sister meets her boyfriend, now her husband. They get married 2019. He's like, hey, I can build you a PC game. So in 2020, I got a PC game built. 2060, 5600X, blah, blah, blah. Now I got 5800X 3D processor, had 3070, now I got 5060 Ti 16 gig. Fast forward all that. I just blew through it. And I'm looking at this stuff, right? And I remember buying games on my Xbox One X behind me. I bought Red Dead 2, brand new. The day it came out, I bought it. Played it. Great game. Fun game. Although I noticed over on the PC side, when it came out, I still had a console. I got the console for Christmas 2017. So about 3 years before I became a PC person. So I was looking at PC stuff because I could download Steam on my laptop. Couldn't play anything on it, but I wanted to download it. And the game price was like, oh my God, this is insanity. This game here, Red Dead Redemption 2, is on sale during a what they call a summer sale. I didn't know what it was. I didn't have a lot of friends. I knew my sister was dating a guy named Justin, who was now her husband. Oh yeah, summer sales are normal. Blah blah blah. My sister got her game built by her husband, then boyfriend. They both built their rig there, and her first rig, like an i7 or whatever, the 10 or 1100K, what it was, a 2070, and she was playing games cheaper than I was playing on console. And of course, no, it came up in 2018, 2019. Hey, did you want a game rig? Maybe one day. I put my foot down 2020 and realized, you know what, new console coming out, PS5 is coming out, Xbox is coming out. I don't want to be stuck in the realm of console. So I went to PC gaming. A lot of my friends had the same awakening. A lot of people now are now too watching this. PC gaming was a thing to do. It was a cool thing to do. Cool thing to do. It was a thing to be. People did it, and it was great. People wanted uh, something different. I want something different. They wanted something more and more than just a game console that required all this restrictions and crap like that. So I think why PC gaming, me personally, is the norm. And we're going through the dark years right now. The dark years are being the RAM issues, and we're going to get to that here in a minute or so. Um, People are realizing that consoles nowadays are just mimicking PC in every way possible, except prices. Yes, Resident Evil Requiem is going to be $70. Yes, you can go to certain PC outlets, and for Steam codes and get it for like $65. I'm not really sold on Steam codes. Reason that being, I know, if what happens if the code is bad or been used already. Because things happen. I had a Steam card for Christmas a year before that was already used, even though it wasn't even scratched off yet. So somehow somebody got to it, scanned it or whatever, and got the code. When I entered it in, they got $100, and I got gypped out. My sister got gypped out. I paid her back for it because I felt it was right to do so. But in the same sense, too, though, PC gaming to me is the norm because people are more enamored and more happy with being individuals and not being forced into a bubble or an ecosystem where console gaming forces you. into an ecosystem. They force you into having to belong with you. You may not care about the ideology or the politics of a certain group of people. We don't do. You don't hang out with those people. Okay? You don't hang out with people who have different opinions than yours. And if you have friends or people who have gotten PC at PC, you're realizing that your friend you have a console now don't have the same views as your friends do. What are you gonna do? You're gonna go where your friends are at. That's just basic common sense. Okay. So what I'm saying, guys, is this: console gaming, PC gaming has grown. Console gaming has shrunk because of the individuality. Like I said in the previous video, my video before, individuality. Console gaming is no longer individuality. It's more about following a trend, being part of a group, being part of a collective ecosystem. Where console gaming, you're more part of a community. PC gaming, you're a community. Yes, you can have Xbox community, PlayStation communities, but you're part of the ecosystem. You're paying, X amount of dollars a month to be part of the ecosystem. Xbox Live, PlayStation Plus, you're paying money a month to be part of the club. Well, PC gaming, hop in there, you go on Reddit, you go on Discord, boom, you're part of the. You can go on Facebook, you want to do that kind of route. And join PC things, you're part of that group. You're not part. You're not sandwiched in a group of people paying money to be part of this club. They know it's like, some of these game sites I saw, gaming clans. I saw a couple years ago where you had to pay membership to be part of the group. I'm like, it sounds like one of those money making scam things. You pay $20 a month to join our community. I'm like, no. Why would I join a community for $20 a month to to be signed a rank to go run around with people who are paying $20 a month or more, on these online PC gaming communities back in the day? I understand you play, World of Warcraft, you might have, a dedicated server that costs money and you want people to pay for it. Hey, you can pay for it. You did the dedicated server. That's fine. If that's your guild, whatever, you have a guild or whatever, and you're paying that's fine. But to join a gaming community that plays Call of Duty, Battlefield, fine. I saw this about 10 years ago, 5 years ago, what it was. Surfing the web, typing in gaming communities, it popped up. Join now for $20 a month. I'm like, no. Game communities I joined, like KSI or XGN, like those kind of game communities, were free on Xbox or even PC now. You can join and meet people, hopefully your age, around your age, and have fun, a good time, communicate, and have little meetings and have fun, play games, meet people, and have a good time. Especially if you're social awkward or have anxiety issues, and you have to talk to people, and that's a good place to meet people is gaming communities. Not all the time, but it's good to have. That's why I think consoles kind of went out against PC. PC, you're kind of on your own. Consoles, you're part of a community if you pay money for the ecosystem. You join a community, you're part of a clan, you get a little rank, a little private or sergeant, or whatever, and you get little duties or whatever, and that's fine. But even nowadays, PC is getting into the community thing now too. So I think PC gaming is becoming the norm because evolution has dictated it. That it's time for PC gaming to take the crown back. I never lost the crown. It just misplaced it for a little bit. And the console community fanboys have been fighting over it. And the biggest problem with console gaming to me is that you got to pay all this money for a console every couple of years. And the argument with console fanboys is, well, you got to buy a graphics card every couple of years. I said, yeah, you can. But then again, you can buy. I have people playing Battlefield I know who play on 1080 Ti, 2080 Ti's. Granted, 1080 Ti is losing driver support, but Steam has drivers you can use. that'll help hold you over. The community on Steam has drivers that you can use for your 1660 Super or 1080 Ti that's losing driver support from NVIDIA. Now, how long those last? I don't know. Maybe an extra year or two, maybe. You know, if NVIDIA really wants to sweeten the deal, people buying their new graphics cards, they can, give Steam access to all those driver supports, and Steam can hand them out to people, or you can download them freely, install them yourself, and don't have to worry about it if you're only going to be playing Steam games anyway. But there's people out there who only play on 20 Ti, 1080 Ti's, because to them that's the goat. Now, granted, a lot of them are buying new graphics cards, and a lot of them have got into the party late and are buying 8 GB cards and wondering why in the hell they have to buy these stupid things. And granted, if you're buying it for 1080p gaming, it's great. But if you're a 1440p gamer, it's going to be a big hit. But you can still game on 1080 and no, on 8 gig. You got to make sacrifices, that's all. But console gamers don't have that type of thing, because once the console lifespan's over with, it's on to the next one. The Xbox One is losing support. It has already lost support. I'm surprised mine still turns on. It hadn't burst into flames yet, because they talk about how they're going to kill off the things, and with the updated news on Sarah Bond and Uncle Phil not being there anymore, Uncle Phil Spencer not being there anymore, who knows what the new person is going to do with the older consoles. But we all know what NVIDIA is going to do with the old consoles. I mean, the old graphics cards, they're going to throw them in a garbage can and move on down the road. We know this. It's NVIDIA and AMD. It's what these companies do. If you're a PC gamer, you're used to having to play this game. So everybody buys brand new graphics cards every year because A, they have no financial problems at all, or B, they want latest and greatest because they're afraid that their 4090 is going to bite the dust next year, even though it's going to last probably another 5 to 10 years. And even if you don't sell another one or buy another one, it's going to last longer. I think the 20 series is probably going to go out probably. The rumor mill is probably 2027, earliest 2028. Did they start sending out those, hey, thank you, but we're getting rid of the 20 series support updates for the support here. This is just standard practice. Especially with 6,000 series comes out, you're going to have 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to have 40 generations, and 20 series will be next. So, like I said, it sucks to be in old hardware, but you can still play modern games. It's just you are going to have to make a decision. Like I said before, in the beginning of the video, it's hard to play newer titles with extreme old hardware. Okay, so PC gaming has always changed. It goes forward, not backwards. Okay, PC gaming goes forward, not backwards, and that's the norm. And that's the norm, and that's how it is. That's why I think it needs to be addressed. That PC gaming itself is always moving forward. Console gaming is too, but a lot of people are still on the Xbox One ecosystem. A lot of people haven't gone off the Xbox One yet. A lot of people got off PS4 because they finally shut down those stuff. And the 360 finally went dead around 2026, late 2025 ish. So that being said, guys, I mean, the future of PC gaming looks bright. It's just we have to get used to these minor, deductions. They're gonna the PC guys above, NVIDIA, AMD, Intel's still brand new, so they'll probably keep their old stuff on for a while. But AMD and Intel will eventually cut the driver updates for their 20 series and 6,000 series if they haven't already. Why? Because of money. Because they have to keep the train of their trains moving at full steam ahead. And have an unsold dead weight, 6,000 series and the 20 series, it's just going to make it harder for them to keep moving. So this is my thing, and also the RAM apocalypse being as bad as it gives them more credibility now. Yes, to extend the life of those two cards I mentioned, the card which I mentioned, but also it gives them more light to also cut, to pull the cord. Hey, we're done with this. So and it's kind of a yin and a yang kind of situation with Nvidia and AMD. More Nvidia because they're being total D's about everything, total bastards about everything, and and cutting back that 16 gigabytes 56 Ti 16 gig. I'm happy I got mine in December, and 5070 Ti 16 gig. I'm really happy they got rid of those. They didn't stop rushing on 39 no 5090s. We need a 5090. Somebody needs one of those. Now you can't just buy a 5080, 5070 Ti and stop making 5090s for a year or so. But whatever. Now I'm not sitting in the board meetings. I don't have a golden parachute and being knitted by gold strands of hair. Like these corporation people are getting. I'm just a fat guy who works in a distribution center who has a YouTube channel with over 280 subs. And I love you guys for it. Thank you. But my issue is this: we need to be careful and really watch the RAM issues and the SSD issues because prices are getting out of control again. And I fear that we keep throttling, going there and buying the latest graphics cards and latest AM4 or AM5, especially AM5 stuff that we're gonna over poach the market with nothing left. And we all know that Crucial is going away. We all know that NVIDIA loves us so much that they're just constantly making cards for us. And they care so much about us. They're gonna get rid of the 5090s and keep those two other 16 gigabyte cards. And my alarm clock went off, and I realized that was still BS. Okay, so we're gonna have to make decisions. PC gaming is still plays best with Leave, and I wouldn't be anywhere else. But the latest, and this is my negative part of the video here. My problem is that we have, you know, game consoles costing as much as low end grade PCs. Graphics cards were cheaper than game consoles for a while. RAM was more expensive than my 5060 Ti 16 gig when I first bought it. I've got it in December 12th. When I ordered it, it was $479 before taxes. After taxes, I paid $525 for my 5060 Ti 16 gig overclocked. The silver one that I did a review on. The review's down below or somewhere around. You can click on it and watch it. After this live stream, of course. And all that said and done, all that being said and done, that graphics card still costs cheaper than RAM at 64 gigs at Best Buy that costs over, at the time, $900. Now it's almost $1,300. I say it again. My graphics card that I bought, that's PCIe 5, and a PCIe 4 motherboard, costs $525, taxes included. It's still cheaper. You could buy almost two of those. Buy two of those for the price of one RAM kit at Best Buy that costs now over $1,300. Now the 56 Ti costs over $600 now because the company like Newegg I got mine from are gracious enough to give you a nice little tax on that because they want the extra money. They need to pay off their their yachts or help kids in New Guinea get some tennis shoes or whatever. We can scratch the second one. They want their yacht payment paid off. And let's be honest for ourselves, and that's fine, whatever. When I knew the RAM short coming up, I bought my graphics card. Yeah, I actually got 370 Ti, but $800 is not going to happen with me. My budget was $530 for myself. I had Christmas gifts to buy, so I had to really work everything in. Now I got what I wanted. I love it to death. Okay, I've been telling you guys this for the last 2 months, 3 months. Hey, you guys need to buy the graphics card. Upgrade when you can. Upgrade before February. Well, actually, we have before February 1st, because January 31st is actually with the end of 2025 fiscal year. now in 2026. And they're announcing another price increase on the video cards because nothing says like kicking you in the balls again or kicking you in the teeth will kick you in the balls like doing that. So in closing, guys, this video almost 40 minutes long. I gotta go back here in a minute. We're gonna get a part put on my car here in about next 7 or 10 hours. Um, is this before we start running around and blaming each other for the prices of the RAM sticks, the problems like that? We have to start taking a long, hard look at why NVIDIA or Crucial or any other companies are not dropping the prices, are not increasing RAM production of DDR4 or increasing DDR5 production because they're afraid that the bubble might burst. I think they should increase it for, like I said before, in the first video, increase it by 90 days, full bore, DDR5, DDR4, increase DDR4 for 90 days, then increase DDR4 for 90 days, then let that flood come in and let it sit. See what happens. People are going to buy. Sorry, guys. Sneezing over my headset. It's nasty. But anyway, that won't happen, but that's the idea in my head I thought might work. Help ease the pain, the burden at the pay window when it comes to buying DDR5 RAM. A lot of people now are buying Intel 12 gen processors because the motherboards work with DDR4 or 5. I researched this myself, and Toasty Bros did a video on it, I think today or yesterday, confirming what I said. So I think if you're going to build PC gaming today, you go to Intel, you get DDR4 and a 12th gen Intel, and a motherboard that supports DDR5 and 4, and just ride it out with DDR4. If you got DDR4 and you're maxed out like I am at 5800X 3D, if you got 5800X or if it's 5600X, you can go to 5800X TX or XT, and have a better performance than you have right now, and ride it out for a couple more years. Because guys, I don't think this is going to go away anytime soon. And console manufacturers are feeling the pain too, because it ain't just PC gaming that's feeling the pain. Okay, Switch 2 price is going to go up again too as well. That's a small handheld, but they're getting Resident Evil Requiem on that game to run natively on the card on that system. So it's telling me that these systems are working good, but the RAM issue is still out there. The memory issue is still out there. RAM, VRAM, DRAM. The storage issue is still out there. And even some power supplies have issues now too, because certain people now are buying power supplies up. Are they making small data centers? Are they making small ones? Maybe. I don't know for sure. Are freelancers getting into the data center and buying up some stuff for their own little homemade data center? Maybe a little small little town data center? Maybe. Who knows? If that's the case, then you can see the cases going up and the power supplies going up. I don't think that's going to happen because what the hell? I think it ain't going to cause that much of a problem, but it could if small towns are trying to get into the grid on the AI bandwagon grid. But it doesn't mean that what happens is not going to be, for years. This may last, guys, 2 years, maybe 3 tops. And so some people are saying it may last 5 or 10 years. Once the data centers come online and they start doing whatever the hell they're doing, you're going to see a slowdown of the mass rush to it. And certain companies are going to pull out, and people are going to tell you, "Hey, I don't want to do this anymore," and they sell their stock and they leave. Most people keep going full bore until they get every inch of grass covered by a building that they know that does AI or whatever case may be. But I feel like right now that the RAM stick issue is going to be around for at least another 24, 36 months at least. And that is bare minimum. That is just balls to the wall, terrible. Oh my God, this insanity is gonna last. But if the bubble bursts, think about all that RAM. And here's part two to think about. Think about all that RAM being flooded in the market that was used in these data centers or data centers. Think about all that RAM that was going to be flooded back in the market. It's going to be overrun with RAM. But yeah, it's great. Not really, because having too much of something is bad. Too much rain, too much sugar, too much snow, you know, too much of everything is a bad thing. Okay. So what I can say to you guys is this: don't pray for the destruction of AI. Pray for the rapid enrollment and moving out with the processing and getting it done and getting it ready to rock and roll to do whatever it wants to do, so we can get it back to normal RAM levels. And if companies send back, say they buy, a trillion tons of RAM sticks and they only need half a trillion tons of RAM sticks, they send the rest of it back to the companies. Because then they go back to the stores. Hey, prices go down from $1,300 back down to say 80 or 200 or 150, whatever. But that may not happen right away, guys. So I'd say stick it out. PC gaming is here. It's going to be here forever. PC gaming is the norm. And then I wouldn't worry too much. A lot of people in comment sections were freaking out about the RAM issues. Like, listen, if you're building a game right now, people should be worrying right now. The people should be worrying about the RAM prices right now are brand new PC gamers. Brand new, you know, the military calls people like that, private scruffies. They don't know what they're doing. They're brand new. They have no clue. Those are the PC gamers, the newbies, people who have no clue what to buy. They see lights and glamour. They see spin twirling, no scoping. They see the Call of Duty Battlefield games. They see all the great stuff, 4K, blah blah blah, monitors, and they have all this money they're going to burn. But they realize the RAM stick is going to cost maybe 80% of the 80% of their budget if they're not careful. So they start lowballing stuff. They may go DDR4. They might get, they may have an old rig they got from the brother. They can cannibalize that to help fix their new one up, whatever. But if a brand spanking new to the game, they have nothing. Those are the ones that are rough. And if you have an old rig that you can say DDR4, you have old storage, you can use that. Maybe old power supply, you can use that. I mean, you can use a lot of things. But if you're brand spanking new, you got nothing. That's what I'm talking about having problems. For you guys in the norm who know this, you guys have already planned this out. You know exactly what power supply what parts of your old rig that you're going to keep. Power supply, maybe the SSD you like because it's a certain one. Um, the AIO probably work with your new processor. You know already the motherboard. You already got the new motherboard in, so you kind of know what you need. You guys have no problem with this. It's the newbie people who have no clue, who will be out there trying to figure out how to do this on their own, and they're gonna get mad and go back to consoles and realize consoles are just expensive as buying RAM sticks, and they'll be stuck in the middle in the island of they're gonna be what I call a man without a country because they're not gonna have anywhere to go really. So if you're new to PC gaming, you can build a new rig or buy a pre-built. Go on Facebook, go on Reddit, go on these things, go on Discord, talk about with people. Type in PC gaming communities and talk. Type, hey, I'm looking at this. And yes, you get a lot of weird feedback, people, doing stupid stuff. But the real important ones you get, the ones it answer your question, you click on those, and you message those people, and you talk to them. You talk to them, you talk to people like that, and you keep getting information because you have to make an information, a real sound device on this. You can't go out there and go buy a bunch of damn PC parts and cram them into a rig and hope the goddamn thing, hope the god the damn thing works. Because if it doesn't work, you're gonna figure out what happened to it. And I think people need to understand that. Now you can't use, a process from AM4 on an AM5. It ain't gonna work. So you have to understand, motherboard. You can't use AM5 processor on an AM4 motherboard, and vice versa. You have to know what to do. And I tell people, research, research, research. You got friends that I know who build gaming rigs? Ask them, hey, can you help me build my gaming rig? Here's $1,000. What can you build me? Yeah, that's very true there, Thunder. Thunder Boy, you're very true. It's very, very true, 100% truth right there. That the console manufacturers have put themselves into a corner where now they have to do long lifespans or revamps every 2 years, where they can get away with 10 years or 7 to 10 years. But before I close this video off, guys, thank you guys for watching my video. Thank you guys for subscribing. I've gotten 5 more subscribers. I'm at 281 subs. I love you guys tremendously. Modern Forums, true. Now, you can have some bottlenecks with RAM. It's possible out there. Unlikely, unless you get some weird concoction. Weird. If you get a good, if you have a good graphics card like a 5090, you can pretty much run a 5500. No, AM4 5500. Socket. You ain't gonna know. You ain't gonna know there's a damn thing going on with that thing because 5090 is gonna the 5090 is gonna carry the whole damn thing. But you're gonna notice a lot of RAM use, maybe a lot of opening up, tabs or whatever. Like I said, I got a 5800X 3D with 5060 Ti 16 gig. I don't know if there's anything wrong with it. But people out there who don't know, like you said, Thunder, don't know, like we know that you have to compare. You have to make sure that the processor and RAM are not equal, but are similar in many different ways. Like you're not gonna buy a 3600X AM4 and compare it with 5090 or 1700X. It's just it's just off kilter. Same true with a 9800X 3D and a 2060. Once again, it's not. You're leaving performance, like you said. You're leaving a lot of performance and even have bottlenecks happening, but you're leaving a lot but you're leaving a lot of performance on the table. So you have to balance out what you want, and have it somewhat level. I always say you want your processor to be a little bit more than your graphics card, but it all depends on games you're playing. If you're playing games like Battlefield, well, they kind of require a little bit, but more graphics card. If you're playing games like Flight Simulator, more processor. It just depends. Like I said, no, I'm not a PC sadist. I don't pray to Gabe Newell every day. So I don't know for sure exactly, 100%. But I do know by watching, reading, doing stuff, and researching that bottlenecking does happen a lot if you try to take something that's mid range and try to put something that's high end. A 5090 is great, but if you're rocking a 1700X or 3600X, you're gonna notice a bottleneck. I'm sorry, you're gonna notice it because that processor is gonna be like damn. Okay, okay, like, and you got this big ass contraption here, and it literally can run. It's drawing power from your power supply. It's power. It's sucking all the power away from your power supply, and your processor is doing you know what it can do. But it doesn't mean that the 3600X or 5600X, 5800X 3D is bad. You try to there's charts out there where you can buy right processors for right graphics cards, and they have them. But you can mix match a 3060 12 gig with 5800X or 9600 or 7800X 3D. You could do that and have no no noticeable issues. It just depends on what setting you're going to play on. If you're going to play 1080p gaming, don't buy 5090 because it's kind of wasting money in performance. You can get rid of you can get away with 3060 12 gig. If you're doing 2K, a 5070 Ti, non Ti, 5060 Ti 16 gig will do the exact same thing. Granted, the memory bus is a whole different ball of wax, and that will also affect bottlenecking too. But I haven't had much bottlenecking since my 3070. I got rid of that for 5060 Ti because the VRAM was just not working anymore. It was just literally Battlefield 6 I was playing on medium low settings. I turned everything off. I turned DLSS on. It just wasn't, you're giving me what I wanted anymore. It's a good graphics card, but to me it ran its course. So I get to my brother-in-law and sister, and I bought the 56 Ti 16 gig, and haven't looked back since. Um, but if you guys are looking for advice, the Toasty Bros, a Gamers Nexus, Jay's 2 cents, and anybody on my channel who has PC knowledge too, as well as myself, will help you out. You just have to reach out. I'm on Messenger a lot, so if you see my name, first and last name, same thing on Facebook. Message me. I'll talk to you when I get a chance. But I don't charge for my advice. I have no problem in not charging for my advice. But just be mindful that I get to you right away. It might take a couple days to get to you. Even if you message me on YouTube. A lot of times I don't look at my YouTube stuff. I'm usually sleeping, watching YouTube movies, watching videos, researching stuff. So I'm doing a lot of things off. While I'm on, I'm doing a lot of things off too as well. So guys, this is my video. Thank you for watching this video. This is part 2. This is my last video I'm going to make on this topic. Next one will be about something else, I know for sure. We already covered the RAM issues. We all know it's going to be pretty much, cold day in hell before they finally get RAM going for everybody else. I may talk about, not processors, but, whatever. I don't know. Maybe something to talk about. I'll figure out something to talk about. Or I get a message from you guys, message me about something you want me to talk about. I'll message me on my Messenger at Mark Upteling. That's my Facebook thing. If you send me a friend request, I may not answer it if you don't have any friends, or if your account's locked. I'm gonna think you're fake. I got people mad at me for that. I'm like, I can't tell because you got told one person your content's private. I can't tell who you are. And you could be a spam person, even though I don't think you guys are spam. Well, a lot of you guys are not spam. I don't think all you guys. I don't think any of you guys are spam. But there's people out there who spam. Facebook, YouTube. I mean, it goes on forever, right? So you gotta be careful who you click on. So I always check to make sure the person I'm clicking on, I don't have already on there on my friends list. Gotta have to tell scams happen. So be careful out there, mindful. If I send you a friend request, it's probably not me because I don't send friend requests to random people. Like, but no. If you got friends of mine on there, and I read your stuff, and there's one somebody I want to talk to, I'll send you a friend request. But if it's not, most cases, people have friends on there. I may not even give you a friend request because maybe we're not compatible in the sense. Maybe talk about cars a lot or shoes, and a lot of friends talk about PC games and stuff like that. So it could be different people. You might know the person a lot longer than I have, maybe your childhood friends or whatever. So be careful out there. I've seen a lot of people message me about I didn't send you this friend request. I don't know who did. And like, okay, I'm deleting it. Uh, so yeah, so be careful. Okay, guys. Be safe out there. God bless you guys. Peace out. See you guys later. Until see you guys next week.